Hi, listeners. Welcome back to Bingkai Suara, your favorite channel discussing songs, the musicians, and the story behind them. And I am Luciana. Here I am with very soulful artist. It's not only an artist, but it's a humanitarian and also activist. The one and only Michael Franti. Hello.
Apa kabar, Luciana? Om
Bye.
Swastiastu.
Om Swastiastu. Well, are you in Bali right now?
I'm in America right now. I was in
You?
Bali 3 days ago, where I live.
Oh.
I've lived in Bali for 5 years, but we just started a tour. And I first went to Bali in 2007, and I fell in love with the culture. As a creative person, I love the art. Like everywhere you go, there's, stone carving, wood carving, jewelry making, batik, like so many incredible artists. And then I also just had my heart open. I was going through a very tough time in my life, and just experiencing the culture and the people there opened my heart, and the nature also. And so I thought, what would be great to uh, create a place where other people could come and experience that heart opening of Bali. So I started a place called Soulshine Bali,
Yep.
started building it in 2007, and we opened in 2010. And it's a hotel where people can come and do wellness like yoga, other fitness activities in the morning. And then at night, we have music. So there's
Oh,
DJs and live music and dancing and swimming, water slide. So we call it a playground for the soul. So it's a lot of wellness resorts are really like kind of quiet and zen, and our place is that, but it's also a farm. We have rice fields and gardens, and it's a place where people can dance and also celebrate life and not just be quiet all the time.
yeah, that's so heartwarming. And another heartwarming from you before we talk about welcome to the family.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I want to know about Do It for Love. It's kind of a charity that you built with your
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
do
can
it
you
for the
tell us
love.
about a bit? Mm-hmm.
Sure. We started Do It for the Love 13 years ago, and we bring people who are sick and dying, and children with special needs, and wounded veterans from war to see live concerts.
Oh,
And
wow.
my wife and I believe in the healing power of music to get people through the most difficult times in their life. And so people will write to us and they say, my sister has stage 4 breast cancer and wants to go see Beyonce, or my son has autism and would like to go see, um, Garth Brooks or any artist, and then we get them to the shows.
Wow, that's very kind of you.
Thank you.
What is the most heartwarming story that maybe could be an inspiration for the listeners out there and Do It
Well,
for the Love?
sure. The way that we started it was that there was a woman who was sending me messages on Twitter, and her name was Hope December. And she said, my husband Steve has ALS, which is one of the worst diagnoses you can get. One day your finger doesn't work, the next week your
Mm.
hand doesn't work, your arm doesn't work, and eventually you die because your whole body doesn't work anymore. And she said, you're his favorite artist, and he would love to meet you. And so I arranged to meet him. And at this time, he was in a wheelchair and he couldn't move. His whole body was stiff.
Mm.
So we had them come onto the side of the stage to watch the concert. And in the middle of the show, he whispers into his wife here, he says, I want to get up and dance. So
Wow.
with all her strength, she lifts his body up out of the wheelchair. And they have this beautiful slow dance in front of 20,000 people who are crying and cheering and screaming. And afterwards, I said to Steve, what did that mean to you to be here? And he said, yesterday when I was at this festival, I was wheeling around in my wheelchair and people just look the other way. They don't want to see me. But after that moment there, I became Steve. people just started coming up to me saying, "Hi, Steve. Come dance with us, Steve. Hey, Steve, come have a beer with us, Steve. Steve, come hang out with us." And he felt like he could be himself again, you know? And so that's when my wife and I said, let's do this for as many people as we possibly can. And my wife had spent 10 years being an emergency room nurse.
Mm.
So we were always trying to figure out ways that we could bring what she does in healthcare and what I do in music and bring them together.
Um, wow. Wow. You make family. It's like world family, like you say in this album.
Yeah.
So welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Is it become one of the inspiration you create this album? What is the story
Yeah.
behind that?
You know, when I was born, Lucy, I was given up for adoption and I
Okay.
was adopted by another family that I'd never felt like I belonged to.
Mhm.
So my whole life, I always had this feeling of loneliness. And as I grew up, I always felt like I needed to prove myself to other people to be loved. I always was trying to show up not as myself, but as what I thought they needed me to be in order to get their attention or their admiration or to be good at sports or to do good in school or to do something, and for their approval. And when I became an adult, I realized that that's not always a good thing. It's that to be yourself is is the most important thing, to be who you are. And I wrote a song on this record called Be Who You Are.
Yeah.
And we have our families that we're raised in and that we're born into. We have our families that are our chosen family of friends. We have our families that are sometimes our musical family or
Mhm.
cultural family or maybe a religious family sometimes. And then we have the world family. And
Yeah.
all those different families become part of that world family. And right now, the world family is really hurting, you
Yeah.
know, and there's a pandemic in the world right now of
Mhm.
loneliness.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
people feel like we get on social media and we're there, we're watching all this stuff go by, and then we feel more lonely when we're done,
Mhm.
you know. And so I believe it's really important that people share each other's stories. People learn that talking to each other is the most important thing that we can do to bridge and to heal our sadness and to heal our loneliness and to even just to text somebody and say, "Hey, how are you doing today? Tell me about something that happened in your day. What are you working on right now?" Like just those little things make us feel less alone and more connected. And that's really the true meaning of family is when it's a place where you feel like you belong.
Yeah. Like in the lyrics, welcome to the family, right where
Yeah,
you
right
belong.
where you
Wow.
belong. Yeah, you are
And
not alone.
also, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I also feels nature in your songs, like drop me in the water so I can come
Mm,
alive, and then I'm gonna fly like a bird in the sky.
yeah.
Is nature in Bali affected your music, by the way?
So much, Lucy. 'Cause I've lived in the city in San Francisco. We
Mhm.
don't have much nature there, And in Bali, that like we're surrounded by 700-year-old rice fields, and we look out our window and we see all these coconut trees. And my wife and I, we call them our grandparents. They're like our grandparents from previous generations who are always there to look at us. And in Bali, they have the philosophy of Trihita Karana, which means the three ways to happiness. And it's connection from human to human, human to God, and human to nature. And when you have all those three things, then that's when you feel real, true happiness. And I grew up in America where it was like, if you want to be happy, you go buy a new watch or something, you buy some new shoes, and you're supposed to
Mhm.
be happy. But
Mhm.
we know that that doesn't really bring us real happiness. And and so Bali, the nature of Bali and connecting to it has brought me like a new way of experiencing the world. When I'm really having a hard day, if I go and walk in nature, I feel better. If I go jump in the water, like the song Drop Me in the Water, I feel better. If I go and sit and talk to somebody who I care about and I really trust and can listen to me, I feel better, you know. And the Balinese are really beautiful at that. They really spend a lot of time communing, connecting through the spirituality, having conversation, talking about things, and it's really inspiring to me.
What do you like best about Bali then?
The
Choose
thing that I like,
one.
if I if the thing, well, I would say this, the thing that I love most about Indonesia is the idea of unity and diversity, that they
Mm.
could have out of many one, you know, and that you have this nation of 17,000 islands, and you just go a short distance, like the distance between Lombok, which is Muslim and has this really beautiful culture and music, and you go over to the next island, Flores, and it has, you know, Christianity and a whole different sound of music and instruments, just one island over, you know.
Mhm.
You go to the next island. Every island has this different culture from Aceh all the way to Papua. There's just like so much difference, you know, and um, that's really a powerful message for the whole world right now because the world is has algorithms that are designed to divide us and so that they can sell things to us, you know, and or have political gain or something. And right now is a time when we really need to see that the diversity is the thing that actually makes the world beautiful.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, if everyone wore the same clothes, it wouldn't be beautiful. But the
Mhm.
fact that there's different batik in this village than from this village, and different art from this place, different music from this place, different food, that's actually the part that makes the world the most exciting to live in, you know, and we need to be able to celebrate that, and we need to be able to see that there's safety in that, and we need to be able to see that it's okay for individuals to express themselves
Mhm.
and that we can connect through that expression.
Yep. Yep. Talking about the musical instruments in
Hmm.
Indonesia, um, musical instrument that maybe for the next music production you want to use them in your
I love
song?
I love all the gamelan instruments, the really
Mm-hmm.
loud, bells, the chang chang, and
Yep.
all those things. My son loves barong dancing,
Mm.
and he follows all these like YouTube creators who do the barong dancing, and he with all his friends, all his friends are Balinese, and they go out and they take their barongs and dance in the street. And I love that music that comes with it. There's a lot of like my favorite band in Indonesia right now is the Munchies. They're a
Munches.
band that's based in Bali. I love them. Um, I love um, Iwanos and his band. They're friends of mine, and I love all the reggae. There's so much great
Ah.
reggae in Indonesia. Ras
Mhm.
Muhammad is a friend of mine. Like, so I love that there's so many different styles. I also love all the great like R&B, jazz
Mhm.
inspired Indonesian music. And I don't even know all the artists, but I hear them on the radio all the time. I love it. I love that there's this music that started in America of like this R&B and jazz flavored like neo soul, and
Mhm.
then it's taken a new life in Indonesia with
Mm.
Indonesian lyrics and
Yeah.
Indonesian melodies, and it's become its own thing. It's its own style of
Style.
music.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Michael Franti, for sharing your inspirational story to the listeners
Thank you,
here.
Lucia.
Oh,
I'm so
yep.
grateful because I've never really done a tour of Bali. I've only
Mhm.
played I mean, of Indonesia. I've only played a lot of shows in Bali, but I really want to travel around Indonesia, not just to play music, but also to learn and experience music and to connect with other musicians and other artists. And I really have grown to appreciate the diversity and power of music that's in Bali. And I see as part of my mission in life right now to bring those artists out to other parts of the world. So if there's other artists who are hearing this right now or other artists who want to connect, please write to me on Instagram.
Yep.
And I'd love to hear your music. I'd love to follow what you're doing, and I'd love to see you perform. And if you want to come perform at Soulshine Bali at my place, also let me know. I'd love to make those connections happen.
Yes. Please call Michael Franti, guys.
Yeah,
And your Soulshine at Sea, you're preparing this
yeah,
tour, right? In November
yes. The Soulshine
2025.
at Sea, um, and it's November 4th through 8th every other year. So the last one was 2 years ago, and it's basically like our hotel, but on a cruise ship. So in the morning we
Wow.
have fitness activities, all kinds of mindfulness, and then in the afternoon through the night we have bands and DJs, and it goes till late at night, and it's 4 days, November 4th through 8th, and it's something that we just love to do because again, it's like great community building. There's 2,000 fans who come on the boat, and everybody becomes good friends.
How to join your tour
Uh,
in
If you
Soulshine at
want
Sea?
to, yeah, if you want to find out, just go to michaelfranti.com
Mm-hmm.
and all the information about everything that I do is there.
Okay. Okay, listeners, don't forget to listen to Michael Franti and your favorite music platform. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michael Franti, for coming today. Have a nice
Thank you,
day.
Lucy.
Mhm.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Bye.